Hello guys, 2023 Cricket World Cup has begun and has reached a very crucial stage with Team India leading the chart. But do you know what's the history of Cricket World Cup? Today we are diving deep into the rich history of Cricket World Cup, a tournament that has captured the heart of millions around the globe. Inaugural Cricket World Cup was hosted in 1975 by England, the only nation able to put forward the resource to stage an event of such magnitude at that time. The first three tournaments were held in England and officially known as the Prudential Cup. It was named after the sponsors Prudential plc. The matches consisted of 66 ball overs per team, played during daytime in the traditional form, with the players wearing cricket whites and using the red cricket balls. 8 teams participated in the first tournament: Australia, England, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, and West Indies, the six test nations at that time, together with Sri Lanka and a composite team from East Africa. One notable omission was South Africa, who were banned from international cricket due to separation. The tournament was won by the West Indies, who defeated Australia by 17 runs in the final at Lord's. Roy Fredericks of West Indies was the first batsman who got hit wicket in ODI during the 1975 World Cup final. The 1975 World Cup saw the introduction of the ICC Trophy competition to select non-test playing teams for the World Cup. With Sri Lanka and Canada qualifying, the West Indies won a second consecutive World Cup tournament, defeating the host England by 92 runs in the final. At a meeting which followed the World Cup, the International Cricket Conference agreed to make the competition a quadrennial event, once in 4 years period. The 1983 event was hosted by England for the third consecutive time. By this stage, Sri Lanka had become test playing nation and Zimbabwe qualified through the ICC trophy. A fielding circle was introduced 30 yards away from the stumps. 4 fieldsmen needed to be inside it all the time. The teams faced each other twice before moving into the knockouts. India was crowned the champions after upsetting the West Indies by 43 runs in the final. India and Pakistan jointly hosted the 1987 tournament, the first time that the competition was held outside England. The games were reduced from 60 overs to 50 overs per innings, the current standard because of the shorter daylight hours in the Indian subcontinent compared with the England summer. Australia won the championship by defeating England by 7 runs in the final, the closest margin in the World Cup final until the 2019 edition between England and New Zealand. The 1992 Cricket World Cup, held in Australia and New Zealand, introduced many changes to the game, such as coloured clothing, white ball, day-night matches, and change to the fielding restriction rules. The South African cricket team participated in the event for the first time, following the fall of the separation regime and the end of the international sports boycott. Pakistan overcame a dismal start in the tournament to eventually defeat England by 22 runs in the final and emerge as the winners. The 1996 championship was held in the Indian subcontinent for the second time, with the inclusion of Sri Lanka as host for some of its group stage matches. In the semi-finals, Sri Lanka heading towards a crushing victory over India at Eden Gardens after the hosts lost 8 wickets while scoring 120 runs in pursuit of 252, were awarded victory by default after crowd unrest broke out in protest against the Indian performance. Sri Lanka went on to win their maiden championship by defeating Australia by 7 wickets in the final at Lahore. In 1999, the event was hosted by England, with some matches also being held in Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and Netherlands. 12 teams contested the World Cup. Australia qualified for the semi-finals after reaching their target in the Super 6 match against South Africa of the final over of the match. They then proceeded to the final with a tie match in the semi-finals also against South Africa, where a mix-up between South African batsman Lance Klusener and Arnold Donald saw Donald drop his bat and stranded mid-pitch to be run out. In the final, Australia dismissed Pakistan for 132 runs and then reached the target in less than 20 overs and with 8 wickets in hand. South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Kenya hosted the 2003 World Cup. The number of teams participated in the event increased from 12 to 14. Kenya's victory over Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, among others, and a penalty by the New Zealand team, which refused to play in Kenya because of security concerns, enabled Kenya to reach the semi-finals, the best result by an associate team. In the final, Australia made 359 runs for the loss of 2 wickets, the largest ever total in a final, defeating India by 125 runs. In 2007, the tournament was hosted by the West Indies and expanded to 16 teams. Following Pakistan's upset loss to World Cup debutant Ireland in the group stage, Pakistani coach Bob Woolmer was found dead in his hotel room. Jamaican police had initially launched a murder investigation into Woolmer's death, but later confirmed that he died of heart failure. Australia defeated Sri Lanka in the final by 53 runs and extended their undefeated run in the World Cup to 29 matches and winning 3 straight championships. India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh together hosted the 2011 World Cup. Pakistan was stripped of its hosting rights following the terrorist attack on the Sri Lankan cricket team in 2009, with the games originally scheduled for Pakistan redistributed to other host countries. The number of teams participating in the World Cup was reduced to 14. Australia lost their final group stage match against Pakistan on 19 March 2011, ending an undefeated streak of 39 World Cup matches, which had begun on 23 May 1999. India won their second World Cup title by defeating Sri Lanka by 6 wickets in the final at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, making India the first country to win the World Cup at home. This was also the first time that two Asian countries faced each other in a World Cup final. Australia and New Zealand jointly hosted the 2015 World Cup. The number of participants remained at 14. Ireland was the most successful associate nation with total of 3 wins in the tournament. New Zealand beat South Africa in a thrilling first semi-final to qualify for their maiden World Cup final. Australia defeated New Zealand by 7 wickets in the final at Melbourne to lift the World Cup for the fifth time. The 2019 World Cup was hosted by England and Wales. The number of participants was reduced to 10. New Zealand defeated India in the first semi-final, which was pushed over to the reserve day due to the rain. England defeated the defending champions, Australia, in the second semi-final. Neither finalist had previously won the World Cup. In the final, the scores were tied at 241 after 50 overs and the match went to a super over, after which the scores were again tied. This World Cup was won by England, whose boundary count was greater than New Zealand. It's clear that this tournament is not just a sporting event, it's a cultural phenomenon that brings people together from all corners of the globe. The history of the Cricket World Cup is a testament to the spirit of competition, sportsmanship, and the sheer love for the game. That's it for today. This is Shayog signing off.